Hello, hello. I wanted to start today with our Here I Am and I'm So Glad. And I realized that as I was playing with it last time, that Here I Am and I'm So Glad is actually a love scoop. When you play with it, it actually turns into a love scoop. And so I wanted to I want to play with today being at and being with. And so I'd like you to first just tune into your being. And here I am could be all kinds of different expressions. So I want you to let yourself declare with your movement, here I am. And then I'd like you to love scoop with I'm so glad. And then however it is, here I am. I'm so glad. And I'd like you to actually say it out loud. So you can say it or sing it, here I am. I'm so glad. So that you're really matching here I am and I'm so glad. And I'd like you to do that until you feel some movement of aliveness in your body. The here I am, you could be asking it as permission. Here I am. I'm so glad. And noticing what in you would like to have the expression of I'm so glad. How would you like to be greeted? Would your heart like to be greeted with I'm so glad? Or would the fear in your tummy like to be greeted with, oh, I'm so glad you're here? So declaring here I am. So even try this one on and then notice if it makes you want to go, ooh, or even bigger. So here I am and I'm so glad. So let yourself keep doing that in different ways until you're feeling the movement of being as you're playing with this. Here I am, and I'm so glad. And then take a moment, and I'd like you to let yourself be with whatever you're experiencing. So there's your being, and then there's your ability to use your being to be with. So what's it like to be with you as you are right now? So you can be with your body sensations. You can be with any thoughts that are coming up. You can be with any emotions that you're noticing. You can be with any images. What's it like for you to be with? So it may be like, here I am, and I'm so glad that you're letting your I'm so glad be with. For me, being with has a little bit of a horizontal movement to it. So I can be with by kind of nuzzling. I had one of my cats came in last night and joined me in bed and thunked against me. So she took her 12 pounds and she was sitting there and then she kind of went thunk against me. And it was such a lovely being with. I could feel her weight. She could feel my breathing and I could experience her breathing. So let yourself notice what it's like to deliberately be with. And I love the I'm so glad, and the love scoop is like, yeah, I can be with this also. So what we'll often do is we be at. So we give attention to it and then find something wrong or something that needs to be improved or gotten rid of. And so my attention when I'm being at something is more pointy, it's more narrow, it's more contracted. So just notice if any time today you've done any kind of being at yourself, any pokiness, and let yourself bring in some being with you. Mm. And the being is a recognition that just my being has value. But then when I add being with, I get to amplify my experience of presence because I'm getting some motion going. And one of the things I love about loop of awareness and love scoops is that it increases circulation. So it's not just circulation within me, it's circulation of whoever I'm encountering, what I'm turning toward in the world, which brings me to the card today that I'd like to share with you. So I'll have Michelle bring that up. And I'd love for you to first let yourself be at the like looking at uh the collage and just sort of noticing what's there, and with a kind of it could be curiosity or a little kind of bit of a kind of judgment of, okay, like what's here, do I like this, did they do a good job, so all of those, and notice how your attention narrows when you're being at. And then I'd love for you to use your attention to be with, so you're turning toward and going into the collage, and then you're bringing that attention back to you and being with what arises in you as you're responding to the collage. Let yourself do that a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, where you kind of be with as you go into the collage with your eyes and your perception, and then being with whatever is arising in you. And it's the circulation that's going to make the difference for you in experiencing more aliveness and experiencing more choice. And while you're doing that, let me read to you first the sentence and then the question. And the name of this card is Presence. I turn toward what is actually occurring with open posture and easy breath as I respond resourcefully to what wants to happen. God, I love that sentence. That's a great sentence. I was just appreciating myself for making that one up. I turn toward what is actually occurring with open posture and easy breath as I respond resourcefully to what wants to happen. To me, that's just such a great expression of what occurs when I'm oscillating my attention, when I'm looping my attention, and I'm letting myself respond to both what I'm seeing and feeling and what's going on around me. So here's the question. How can I turn easily toward what is actually happening and open my body and breath to respond resourcefully to what is emerging? So it's a little bit different. The question is a little bit different. So as you're hearing it, I'd like you to let your body actually respond to the question, what I'm saying in the question. How can I turn easily toward what is actually happening and open my body and breath? So letting yourself open your body and breath anywhere that wants to be more open, to respond resourcefully to what is emerging. So rather than reacting to what's going on out there, I'm responding resourcefully to what is emerging. And what is emerging can be within me, out there, and between. So it opens up all kinds of different dimensions. So let's come on back to the group. I wanted to say a few more words about presence. Presence to me is an action. It's kind of like a meditation in action. When I'm presencing, and I felt into the deck this morning rather than looking or spreading them out. I just held the deck and I felt into them. And this is the one that emerged. And I loved it because I was already thinking about being and being with. And so the action of your consciousness has so much more power than you might imagine, that if you're intending to turn toward and letting yourself open your body, because almost always fear is accompanied by contraction. So if I start to get contracted, I can find out, okay, what in me is wanting me to be with? And so just try that on right now. What in you right now is wanting you to be with? And how can you be with your awareness, with your breath, with your movement? And so being with allows me to then continue to turn toward. So opening my posture, opening my breath, and turning toward, I've found very reliable little recipe for presence. And so one or more of those could be more active in me. So I could be really closed down and go, oh gosh, I'm all hunched over. And when I expand my chest, I notice what is emerging. So when I start getting action going, when I start getting movement of my attention, of my breathing, then whatever it is that's wanting to emerge has space to do so. And then by continuing to be and to be with, I can notice what's emerging and I can participate with it. So I love that combination of being and being with that allows for then the circulation both within me, because there might be something that I've been overlooking, like a twinge or some pressure between my shoulder blades or a little bit of "Ooh" in my belly. And then when I give my attention to that, I'm saying, here I am and I'm so glad. So I can combine those together, which I love. And now let's take a look at it. It occurs to me that basically I'm interested in presence, connect, play. And we just looked at presence, but let's see what comes up on the card for that. If I can get this, here we go. I want to back up so I've got it. Okay, there we go. So presence in our Presence Connect Play app. And again, if you could put that up in the chat. So if you don't know what we're talking about and you're new here, welcome. You can find in the chat a whole resource for diving more deeply into Presence Connect Play. But present here says, breathe easy. Breathe easy. So mostly, like I've noticed that breathing has become popular. I always notice what's coming into the culture shows up on some of the regular television shows. And so a whole lot of them have got, especially the action shows, have got, just breathe. Come on, just breathe. Take a breath. And then they sort of go, and then off they go. So it's like, it's like recruiting breathing to be a part of the adrenaline response. So first of all, it takes at least 3 breaths, folks, for you to shift from to presence and breathe easy. I would love, because they want to get it into the script, but they don't want to take much time for it because every second, costs thousands of dollars. So the breathe easy instead of take a breath. That's a little bit pointy, when we're talking about being with, that's sort of being at, like breathe, which is like, I was at a retreat center many years ago where I passed by a treatment room where the guy was saying, he was trying to do some, I think, chiropractic or something. He says, just relax. Just relax. I can't work with you until you relax. So just relax. And I went, as I was going by, I went, good luck. In my mind, it was like someone telling you, I'm going to hurt you now. So just relax so that I can do that. So breathe easy. Let yourself play with when you hear breathe easy. When I hear that, I get a whole sense too of what we call easy world, that I can choose to have things be easy. So breathe easy. To me, I slow down my breathing, which is one of the best ways to create presence. Because when I'm in adrenaline breath. And so if I breathe easy, that opens up my ability to be with. And when I look here at connect, appreciate everyone as a work of art. So I'd love for you to look at the other people on the call and letting your and then bringing your attention back to you. So appreciating them as a work of art and then oh, me too, appreciating you as a work of art. And for me when I do that, it opens up also my being with because each work of art is unique. And when I go into an art museum, I'm not, and the dojins are going around and taking tours. They're not saying, do you notice how the Picasso is just so much better than the Monet? They're not, they're not doing that. They're opening up our ability to be with works of art and to catch it, to somehow contract looking at yourself as and experiencing yourself as a work of art. And for me, that's been very useful as I'm moving around in the world. And the tendency to see other people as enemies, which is very prevalent right now. And when I deliberately shift to seeing others as a work of art, who that first benefits is me, because I'm not using all of my energy to be vigilant. I'm using my energy and my attention to appreciate. And when you appreciate, appreciation appreciates, it grows. So that shift I find incredibly valuable. And even if it's somebody that I have a real judgment about, I can find something about them, that I can appreciate as a work of art. So that helps me then to connect inside, but also to connect to that space between us, which is so valuable where all the juiciness occurs. And then play. Ah, play is get way faster, then way slower. So yeah, so go ahead and do that right now. Like, oh my God, all the things I have to do today, and we're going. And for those of you in Europe, all the things I didn't do today, and I'm still at what I still have to do. And then I'd like you to get way slower. What when I lived in the Midwest, we would call molasses in January, which is way slow because adrenaline speeds us up and presence for me, it does not so much slow me down as I spread out. So rather than slow, because a lot of us have associations with slow, how about getting way out there and narrow and then way in here and spread out? So you can take something that you're worrying about and worry about it even more and go, oh my God, if I got me. And then if you were to spread out in space with it, how do you experience it? I was getting sort of like I'm a jellyfish underwater and I can't quite get up the energy to be kind of with people. So take a moment and just give your attention to what you're experiencing right now, the energy that you're experiencing in your body. And I'd like you to see which of our experiences today would you like to take into the week? And I'd like you to take a moment to just jot down something for yourself, a word or an image that's come to you, or breathe easy, a phrase that you can come back to as you continue getting into the business of the week. Now that we have an actual week that can progress without major holidays in the middle of it. So just taking a look at, ah, what would I like to come home to support me in experiencing me and others as a work of art? I was just looking at here and seeing a breeze in the trees. I love that one. Yeah, so you can look on the chat to get suggestions from others as well. So wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm going to take my leave and give some attention to my cats. And I encourage you to let yourself connect, be with, ask for support for anything that you would like to have others be with for you. Thank you for bringing your pets. The we always love the opening that our animal companions provide, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Mwah. Take care.